Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Z Trigger podcast. My name is William Hill.
I'm Brandon Harris.
I'm the other guy.
Also known as Nobody.
Yep.
A podcast host has no name.
I am the man with no name.
Well, yeah, watch out, and he'll kill you in Halo quite a bit.
I'm
So,
Clint
anyway-
Eastwood.
Who? Oh, yeah, you haven't heard of him yet.
Yeah.
How is everybody doing tonight?
It's so late that I'm making bad jokes.
It takes it being late for you to do that?
I
No.
get really stupid after midnight.
Man, I just get really stupid, period, so I can't say anything.
I did watch you
Oh,
play Mario 2 for like an hour.
You play
Well-
Mario 2?
I did. I played Mario 2 for the live stream earlier, and then I kept dying and
You know,
saying,
I tried to play Mario 2 on but I forgot where, you know, the potions that you pick up and you can go into the dark world.
yeah.
I forgot where you're supposed to do those at to get the I forgot where all the special stuff was. Like the 1-ups. I'm like, I don't want to go online to look this up because that's cheating. But
You know, I am to a point with Mario Brothers 2 because I'm so bad at it that I'm gonna start like save stating that game until I can get anywhere in it.
I'm
Because
just wondering
I
how
am-
you can be bad at Super Mario 2.
Because it doesn't play like a damn Mario game.
No.
That's because it isn't a Mario game.
I know it's not, but it doesn't even play like conceivably close to one. And because I think, oh, it's Mario on the screen, I try to play it like a Mario game.
Well, don't
And
play
I-
as Mario. Play it as one of the other
I
characters.
usually play as Peach.
I usually go with Peach and Luigi based on the level.
Yeah. I'm just-
Because Mario is just Toad is the worst. It's unless you're in the desert, then he's the best because he digs very fast.
I will have to remember that, actually.
Yeah, all of them have their own characteristics, which, you know, based on
I
level,
know.
they could be
Oh,
best.
I know. I didn't know that Toad had any use at all.
Oh yeah,
Period.
he digs very fast. I think Mario's supposed to be like in the middle of everything, like middle of jumping, middle of digging, all that sort of thing. But whenever I get to the desert levels, all I can think of is Dig Dug, because that's basically what you're playing.
In a very rudimentary, like One Direction kind of way, yeah.
Yeah,
And that's One Direction as in one direction, left, right,
not the
north,
band.
south.
Damn
Not
it.
the band. Not the band at all. So, what has everybody else been playing? Because I've been playing the game. Well, I'll talk about what I'm playing it because I asked you guys first. What are you guys playing?
I have played a little bit more of Dragon Quest IV because I'm like, I want to finish this. Especially now that I have all of the Dragon Quest games of the proper series that are available in America, thanks to getting
Goodness.
Dragon Warrior 3 in the mail today. Yeah, you know how much that game goes for with the actual box still
A
with
lot.
How-
Yeah.
A lot.
it? Hundreds.
Well, then I should
And
go
the- and-
sell mine.
And this is the Game Boy Color game
Oh,
of it. The Nintendo game's probably even more.
Oh, it is. It's worth a small fortune.
Yeah, like Dragon Warrior 1 and 2 for Game Boy Color, if you have the box with it and instruction manual, that's $300.
woo.
Yeah, buy Dragon Quest games when they come out, and you can make a lot of money.
But don't do that. But don't do that because flipping games like that is
Yeah.
fucking terrible.
Yeah, it is. But hey, I can't say that I wouldn't do it back then if I had had the money to buy the things. Yeah, and as I said, I tried to play Mario 2. but it was like, oh crap, I don't remember any of the. I don't remember what I'm supposed to do here. All my memories of video games from the past that I played effortlessly as a kid, I don't remember. I couldn't tell you how to beat Zelda now. I'm not even sure I could beat Mario 3.
I mean, depending on the day, I can. Depending on the other days, I can't beat Mario 3. Mario 3 still has some really hard levels in it.
Yeah, well, Mario 1 is the only one I haven't, of the first 3 that I haven't beaten.
Mario 1 is evil at times.
Yeah. And especially since when you're done, they're like, oh, hey, you can play this again, but with harder enemies.
Yeah, nope. I'm done. Bye.
At least it doesn't do what Ghosts and Goblins did.
Oh yeah, this room is an illusion, a trap devised by Satan. Go back to the first game level.
Fuck you, Capcom. Fuck you.
No, it's funny. Mario 1, level 8-3 has Hammer Brothers on flat ground with no platforms to jump on.
The Hammer Brothers in that game are
evil, especially these because they don't just throw one. They throw
easier in the third game.
Yes, in 8-3 they throw like 7 axes at a time.
Jeez.
That game is fucking evil. I have beaten it, but damn, it's hard. I beat the Game Boy Color port first, and then I've beaten other ports since.
Now, did they change things with the Game Boy Color port to make it easier?
Not really.
Because, with a lot of these re-releases, they do.
They changed a few things to help you deal with the fact that it's really zoomed in.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they do that with the Dragon Quest games, too. But the Dragon Quest games, for the last 2, they made it so you don't have random encounters with monsters anymore.
Oh, lame.
You can see them and dodge them.
Yeah, but you need to. You gotta fight them. That's... Grinding in JRPGs was created by Dragon Warrior and Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
It's time-honored tradition, man.
But the thing is,
I feel like it's cheated out of it.
With most of the reviews of these remakes, these RPG fans are going like, yeah, this is a great change because we don't like grinding. I'm like, then why do you play RPGs?
Right?
Well, why do you play JRPGs specifically? Because that's the game.
Yeah, I'm like, so what do you want, a point-and-click adventure game? Go play Myst.
Go read a book, motherfucker.
Play Riven. Jeez.
Actually, just play Riven anyway, because Riven's really good.
I have not played that one. I need to.
I beat it, as I mentioned a few weeks ago. I actually have beaten Riven, and I did it honest. I got a notebook, I took notes, I beat the damn game.
By the way, I asked you both a question online earlier this week.
Really?
I'm about to start playing.
Oh, yeah.
Game.
Well, the funny thing is, I thought about that, and I can't say no to any of them. Actually, if you're going to play those games, if you're choosing from those games, don't play Secret of Evermore before the others. Secret of Evermore is very good, but it's not as good as Illusion of Gaia or... it might be better than Out of This World / Another World, whatever. But they're very different games. You're going to get a very different kind of experience.
Right, yeah, because Out of This World's not even an RPG.
Yeah, it's a cinematic platformer, I think.
Yeah. But if I do play Out of This World, I'm still trying to decide Genesis or Super Nintendo.
They're kind of the same, aren't they, Brandon?
There are small differences.
Yeah, there would be differences. There always is.
For one, the graphics engines are different.
The sound's going to be a lot different because the Genesis sound chip is funky.
hell did it say?
Hey, don't laugh. I have a Sonic statue now that says Sega. So when you hit the switch on it, because I'm a colossal nerd.
Maybe I should play Secret of Mana. I don't know.
I would say yes to that pretty much immediately because that's one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, supposedly.
Now, is that an action RPG or just a regular RPG?
It has mechanics of an action RPG in it, but it's mostly a turn-based sort of affair.
Sort of.
It's kind of a hybrid. It's a hybrid sort of thing.
I could also play Chrono Trigger.
That's what you really should do. You should just skip all that other shit and just play Chrono Trigger because
but then all the other games will be disappointing when I go to them.
That's not true. I have played other games since Chrono Trigger and still enjoyed them. Chrono Trigger is just about the best damn game on that system, barring maybe Final Fantasy VI.
Okay, I think I figured out which version of Out of This World I should play, because you have the Genesis version. You also have a Sega CD version.
Yep, that one's actually worth quite a bit of money now.
Yeah,
I wish I could get my hands on a copy.
but I can skip that.
Yes.
Anyway,
Brandon, what about you? What you been playing this week?
A lot of Stardew Valley. Last weekend I put in 19 hours.
God damn.
so you've stopped playing Minecraft?
Yes.
Minecraft.
I picked up a game that gives me what I wanted from Minecraft, which is you take away the building. There's not really any building. It's Harvest Moon. If Harvest Moon stayed what it was doing and just kept evolving, this is eventually what it would have turned into if you stuck with the retro style graphics. Because
it would become Sim Farm.
Thank God.
Sim Farm.
No. Thank God. No.
How the hell did Sid Meier never make that game, or Will Wright? How did Will Wright never make that game?
I don't know.
Sim Farm sounds like something he would have made, in all seriousness.
But yeah, it's very addicting. I'm not very good at it because I have made very little money in my endless amount of hours that I have put into it. I've yet to break the $10,000 range. Mostly because when you start out, you have to water all your plants yourself, and
shit.
You have energy that you fucking get tired. Your character gets tired from doing all that bullshit work. So of course you just can't you can't just do whatever you want. You have to make sure you don't run out of energy or you'll pass out. You have a bedtime because if you don't reach that you'll pass out. So you have to structure yourself, structure your days, because there's also besides doing the farming and taking care of your animals, when you do eventually go in that route, you have your townspeople and they'll have odd jobs for you. One of them from the town mayor sends you into a mine. There's several mines in this game. They're endless. They'll just keep going forever. Down. Like I've reached a level 105. I've seen online where people are like on mine level 406. I was like, Jesus Christ. But it just keeps going, and they'll be like, I want you to go and it's the typical MMO. Go here, destroy so many of these, and come back, and I give you a prize. Sometimes it's go and mine so much amount of this ore and come back and I'll give you a prize and you get to keep the ore. But while you're also doing that, of course, time's clicking away, so you only have so much time to do that. Of course, you also have to water your crops every day. If you're going to go and try and bed one of the females in the town, you also have to make time for that. If you want to, there's also fishing. There's there's mining, fishing, farming, combat. Is there another stat? There might be another stat, but you have to actively do all of those things to level them up. As you level them up, of course, you get various perks and boosts to your stats. And then, of course, trying to make money. Thankfully, with all, when you're in the mines or whatever, you got your pickaxe and you're mining rocks and all this other type of stuff, and you can take them back home. You can either craft things or you can sell them. What a novelty idea, Minecraft! Selling shit you don't want. So there's all there's always a use for something. You have to basically go mow your grass because the grass will pop up. So you take your scythe and go around and start whacking around grass. And eventually, at first, it serves no purpose other than just clearing out your space. But eventually, once you build a silo, you can take that grass and it will fill the silo, and you can have food for your animals. Otherwise, you have to go to town and buy food every day. Because if you don't, they get pissed off. And when they get pissed off, they don't give you your resources. But they don't die. So you ain't got to worry about that. But yeah, it's very addictive. It's mindless for the most part, which is one of the reasons why I've been able to put so much time into it, because I can just... It's very repetitive, but it's if you like Harvest Moon, then you won't mind this repetitive because it's the exact same, just with a few added things. As it'd be stupid to just remake Harvest Moon. But yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed my time with Stardew Valley. I'm pretty sure I'll play some more. Though this weekend I plan to tackle a different game. Probably going to be Prey.
Nice.
Because I've been
I've
wanting
heard
to play
so
that.
much good stuff about Prey.
I also have another game. Prey and something else. I don't remember what that something else is.
I could not tell you.
Swear to God, I bought 2 games.
Hitman.
Yes, right. Hitman. Damn. That's probably the one that of all of the 3 recent games I've been playing that I played the least. I will say, thankfully, that they did go back to pre-Absolution days for the levels, so I can have my sandbox and murder people in my sandbox, because that's what's important. And kudos for trying to have a story, but I want to be able to sneak around and do what I want to do when I'm trying to kill people. But when I have played the game, it's a real shame what happened with that game and how it got butchered, and Square's a real bastard.
Old news.
For what they did. Because, originally, it ended up being 6 parts, but originally it was only supposed to be 3. And you can sort of tell that they had to break it up even more. And it really hurt the sales of that game. So Square has nobody to blame but themselves for that game not doing as well as it should have, because what I played is a really damn good game. So fuck you, Square. I have to find some way to say it every episode, so there you go. Fuck you, Square.
What about Enix?
Fuck them especially.
Yeah, because they're the main problem. Though I don't think there's much management left from the days of Square. I think it's mostly just from the people of the Enix that have taken over, and those who have left and brought in more people who are all just like-minded fools of the Enix crowd. That's why I truly believe you'll never really get the glory days of Square again. You'll have some good games here and there, with Tabata involved, I'm sure he'll hopefully give us another good one. But with Nomura involved with everything, we will be dead before we get anything in a decent time, because we will be old, and he takes forever. There you go.
There it is.
Yes, and then now for something completely different.
Like the fact that I finally started playing Mass Effect for real.
Yay!
After
Now, when you say for real, what were you doing before?
pissing around.
Hey, that's the best thing to do in that game.
So, here's my story of Mass Effect. The year after it came out was, I believe, it was either 2008 or 2009 when Circuit C was closing. It would have been 2009 when Circuit C was closing that I bought Mass Effect for PC. And I played it on my computer, and I got to the first planet after you go to Citadel for the first time. And I was like, man, this is cool. This is everything I really want from a sci-fi role-playing game, because you can go all these planets, and you can do stuff on all of the planets if you want to. And I still think that's cool. So don't get me wrong. I'm not going to, turn around and trash that particular concept here in a second. But school happened because I was in college at the time, and I had to not play as much. So it fell off, and I never finished that run. Fast forward to 2012, and the Mass Effect Trilogy box set comes out for 360 and PS3. I pre-ordered and bought it. It's like, I'm going to finally play Mass Effect. This is going to be great. And then I was like, I'm going to even use a strategy guide so that I can make sure I hit all of the quests that are in the game, so that I can maximize all those story threads that run throughout all three games. Because if you're running off of a quest list, as long as you can still play through it, because the quests themselves are not complex. It's just knowing where they all are, and so that you can go and do them. So I started, and I got to Citadel, and then we had to move back to North Carolina. So we were living with my in-laws for about 3 weeks during that time before Joe found a job, and then we moved up to Winston-Salem. The game fell off, and I started playing something else by the time it was all said and done. Because we didn't have furniture for the first month we lived in Winston-Salem either. It was a very difficult transition getting in there. So whenever I started playing a few days ago, I started playing using the exact same save file that I left off on 5 years ago. Woo. So thankfully it's still really early in the game, and I can just pick up and go with whatever I want to do, or what I need to do, and I'm about to start the Novaria part of the game now. If I really put in the time, my next day off on Monday, my day off when I can actually play, which will be Monday, I'm going to be well over halfway through the game and like another day off away from finishing it. Because the thing I'm learning is that Mass Effect 1 is very short for a role-playing game like that, especially for a role-playing game with such a deep sandbox to kind of like dig around in, with all the different planets you can go and explore and things like that. Because for the most part, some of the side quests are very short, and the only thing that's really holding me back in terms of difficulty is the combat, because the shooting can be a little dodgy. So I do enjoy Mass Effect. I'm interested in seeing how I feel about the ending of Mass Effect 3. I know I'm not going to be seeing the original giant fuck you version that EA had BioWare shell out, but
oh, you will.
I want to see. I know I'll be seeing the redone version. I know that the original is in there.
The redone version is just tacked on at the very end. There really is no. There really isn't anything different. That's why most people weren't very satisfied with the redone ending either, because they didn't really do anything.
I mean, are you shocked? It's Square. I mean, not Square. It's EA. It's worse than Square.
I was like,
yeah.
Square? Square is involved? I fucking wonder.
It's not as bizarre of a set of decisions as if Square had done it. Other than that, though, I haven't really had time to play any damn thing. Although I did play a little Crazy Taxi yesterday for the first time in a while.
Crazy Taxi.
Still love that fucking game. You know, that's one of those games that I just identify the Dreamcast with. I had to rebuild my rig this week, which is another thing that kept me from actually playing games. It took me 4 hours to put to take it apart and put it back together in a new and more efficient way. That was a very long day.
Efficient.
Yes, efficiency matters. So, speaking of consoles, hello, forced transition. The original version of the Xbox One is no longer being made.
I called it.
No, it doesn't really. It's a matter of the S is their new base model.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really surprised about that. I mean, it's not like you can get the original 3DS consoles anymore.
Nope.
Not without buying that mofo used. And I will say this: unlike the original model DS, the original model 3DS is a much more attractive piece of hardware because it's all sleek and flat and stuff. That original model DS is funky.
Yeah.
I mean, I clearly have no problem because that's what I had to begin with, was an original model DS, and I didn't upgrade until I got my 3DS. So, it was never a big issue for me. But no, there's a lot of articles that kind of go doom and gloom on this subject. It's like, oh, they canceled one of their systems, something, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, no, they didn't. They just made a new version of it, and they replaced it with the S. And that's basically like a PS4 Slim is going to be in the day they ever make that damn thing.
What, don't they already have a Slim?
No, they have the Pro and the base console. They don't have a Slim yet. Although, interestingly enough, I watched... have you guys ever watched the Ben Heckendorn show on YouTube?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Well, Ben Heck does... He does...
There's a Slim.
There is the PS4?
Yeah, they redesigned the PS4 to be smaller.
I never even realized
There's a bundle with the Uncharted 4.
Oh, that's what I have.
Huh.
It doesn't say Slim anywhere on it, but...
They basically that extra part where you have you have the tray that can slide off in the slick part that houses the hard drive. They basically condense that into one thing.
Huh.
But there is a Slim. You just don't see it very often because no one fucking wants it.
Well, anyway, Ben Heck does like electronics, modding, and hacking kind of stuff on his show.
Mm-hmm.
And something I watched him do recently, he built what he called the ultimate modern gaming console. And it was a system setup that plays both the original Xbox and 360 games as well as Xbox One. No, it was actually before this generation. So it played PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox One, and Nintendo's handheld and home game console markets.
Good lord.
Yeah. It's crazy. That's crazy to say. Oh, but I don't particularly care that they've discontinued the Xbox One because the S is out. I do think that people need to kind of like chill out with the rage machine saying that this is the end of the Xbox brand because they discontinued one of their hardware. It's like, no, they didn't. Sony did that shit during the last generation, didn't destroy them. They're going to do it this generation, it's not going to destroy them now either, because that's just the way that it happens in the game.
Yeah, I mean, even back in the days of Nintendo, you had that redesigned Nintendo come out towards the end of its lifespan.
Yep, the NES 101 or something like that, which is what I have on my current TV setup.
And they did the same thing with Super Nintendo.
Yep. That's actually the one I bought my mom for Mother's Day one year when I was in college.
So it's nothing new. It's happened a long time ago.
Sure has.
Yeah.
You can bet on it happening with pretty much every console it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Except for the N64, they never changed that one.
Nope, because it wasn't successful enough.
Yeah, and I don't think they did with GameCube either.
I don't think so.
No, and it won't get it either. Because
at this late date, no, it's not gonna get it.
well, no, I mean, like the GameCube just wasn't successful enough for that sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who ever owned a game.
I own a GameCube.
You knew me. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know anyone at the time
There you
that
go.
it was one of the main systems that owned it. I want to buy one nowadays. They're cheap.
What, a GameCube?
Yeah.
I have one upstairs. Like, I have two.
Oh.
Because whenever Joe and I first started dating, her friend who was living with her at the time, she had a GameCube and left it when she moved out. She flaked out and gave up on living away from her mom, and she left her GameCube behind with it's a black one. So I've got that one. I swapped my Game Boy player onto that one, and I have it downstairs, and I have the regular Game Boy. I mean, not the regular Game, but the original GameCube upstairs now. So I have two GameCubes. I'm not sure if I have power supplies for both of them, but I think I do that. I have that as well. Even then, I could find one pretty cheap because, as Trent already noted, they're not that expensive now.
Yeah.
So, speaking of things coming into an end, and Nintendo, the Miiverse social networking service is also going to be fading off into the long dark night, where MySpace is at, I guess. You guys don't have a Wii U or have much experience playing the Wii U, so I don't know that you guys had the chance of enjoying Miiverse like I did. But I thought Miiverse was not a bad concept. It was not a great concept, and the fact that I know what's blah, I just blew that sentence out.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's late.
It is. It's very late for me because I've been up since 5 in the morning. No, it's a shame that it's going because I watched a lot of cool things happen on Miiverse, and I got a lot of really interesting levels for Mario Maker using Miiverse, and I posted a lot of interesting stuff in Miiverse. I got blocked from some Miiverse channels because I swore in the comments sometimes, and Nintendo still thinks that they're designed entirely for kids. Those bastard fucks. And that aspect I'll be glad to see go. But I think that it's interesting that the only way that this service is really ever going to live on now is in the form of messages in Splatoon 2. Because they've implemented something like that into Splatoon 2. And it's not anywhere else on the Switch, so that's a shame. Did either of you ever see Miiverse whenever you played anything on the Wii U?
I never even touched a Wii U.
I've seen Miiverse, but I'm not sure if I've had any real interaction with it.
It's pretty cool service. I thought, the thing that shocked me most about it was how much quality artwork I saw drawn onto messages. I can't imagine doing art that well on the fucking Wii U gamepad. It's impressive. So anyway.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna bring this one up because I think it's one of the most unnecessary and esoteric ideas to come from a major publisher of this generation. Capcom is going to be releasing Street Fighter 2 again for the Super Nintendo.
And just Street Fighter 2.
Yep. Not even a special Street Fighter 2 print. Bland old Street Fighter 2 that you can still get complete in box for $20.
Yeah.
And yeah, they're going to charge $100 for it.
Because, ooh, it's red.
Yes. It's a red cartridge, therefore somebody thinks it's worth $100. And you know what?
Or someone bootlegged it.
Oh, fuck. I mean, you could buy... There's no point in bootlegging it. It's one of the cheapest damn Super Nintendo games. I'm not saying that Capcom shouldn't do this. I mean, clearly it's their product and they can do it with whatever they want because they own the license and, well, fuck's sake, they already put Street Fighter 2 out already once this year. I do think it's kind of ridiculous, though, that it is $100 damn.
Yeah, that's a little much.
Reproduction carts for Super Nintendo can be as low as $25-$30. Yet they're making a brand new copy of Street Fighter 2 and charging $100 for it. I mean, and it's also limited time, so it's more of a collector's item. I don't think it's.
And I think it comes with something else.
I don't know. I hope you're right.
When I read the article, I seem to remember it saying it came with something else. I forget what it was.
A foil stamped box, a premium instruction manual,
Woo!
and a poster.
Woo!
Yeah, you're paying the extra $80 for a poster.
If I was paying that, no, you're paying an extra $95. I'm sorry, I'm going off of 1991 copy cost.
I mean, basically, there's this craze right now of let's make everything in gaming a collector's item, and let's just take this old stuff and just re-release it, and let's make it ultra expensive. I actually meant to sort of talk about this last week, because I've now done two things with limited run games, and while I like their service, and I can also apply this to like something like Subterranean Press, while I like these services, I at the same time don't for the market they perpetuate. Because say like Limited Run Games just did the week before did a run on Ys Origins, and just like these limited Nintendo products or any limited product, they sell out within minutes, and within those same minutes, it all ends up on eBay. Everyone is just trying to get a piece of this trend because they know that they can release this limited item, charge whatever the fuck they want, and it will sell. Either for people who genuinely want it or the asshole scalpers who are just going to resell it, and then people, again, will buy it again. What I don't collector's items, I feel like it's not something you shouldn't create something for the sole purpose of being collector's item. Collector's items that are genuinely good collector's items are shit that you would never think would be collector's items when they were originally released. Most of the shit back in the day, you talked about the Dragon Quest games or Dragon Warrior games from back in the day. No one knew them damn games were going to be worth as much as they are now. Who would have ever bought Dragon Warrior 3 on the regular Nintendo? It's like, gee, I better hold on to this. This is going to be worth hundreds of dollars in years to come. No one fucking...
People do that now.
Yeah, now, but not back then.
Because just about everything that's getting a physical print is worth money someday. And that's kind of crap. Because it's not like, the thing is, I'm still, pissed off and burned because here I am, it's almost 20 damn years after it came out, and there's still not a way to buy Panzer Dragoon Saga that's realistic.
That's because they lost the damn thing.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm sorry, they could fucking reverse engineer and build that damn game back up from scratch.
Lost like Kirk Hammett's guitar riffs.
Lost like Kirk Hammett's ability to play guitar solos without a wah pedal.
Did he ever possess that?
One would hope.
I don't know. But,
I don't.
It's just everything now. There's even fucking Xbox pulled this shit with that bullshit Scorpio edition. You know what? Yeah, it's sold out in a few days, and you can buy half of them on eBay. It's getting a little ridiculous.
Getting? I think we
because before it was just, I mean, it sucked, but it was just sort of localized to Nintendo and some of their stuff that they would do. But now it's like everything Nintendo that's even remotely limited, like this Zelda, this special edition Zelda. Since we do not want to mass produce anything because we're a toy company, this is legit limited. So good luck, assholes. Which means you're going to get it from a scalper because you have like a 2% chance of actually getting a copy legit, from legit means. And now it's starting to spread to the rest of gaming because everyone else is seeing what Nintendo's getting, all these sales, that just easy sales they're getting from this vintage product, and they're just doing it themselves because they know what's going to happen. I guarantee you this damn cartridge of Street Fighter 2 will sell probably within minutes. And
yeah,
it sucks. Not that I want one, but I know who's going to buy it. And it's not, and most of it's not going to be from people who actually want to keep it.
And it's not going to be you.
And it won't be me, because I don't like Street Fighter that much.
I mean, I don't either.
I mean, even the translucent glow-in-the-dark Blanca green cartridge isn't, no.
Gimmick.
Yeah.
Pretty obvious one, too, at that. But on a much less depressing note than more collecting woes as we've been dealing with for like the past month, I feel like, God, what a stupid year Nintendo's giving us in terms of products, right?
Hey, I punished them. And I'm proud of it.
I'm going to be giving them more money soon, or I guess whoever publishes this game, because No More Heroes is finally getting another title, or another game, and it's entitled Travis Strikes Back. And some of the gameplay that was... Yeah. Some of the footage that's been revealed is showing him actually fighting bosses from indie games. Like, he fights a boss from... I'm trying to remember the title. Shovel Knight. You get to fight one of the bosses from Shovel Knight. And that's some of the footage that was revealed this week during Nintendo's Nindies showcase. So it looks excellent because it's classic Suda 5.1 game design. I'm very much looking forward to that one. I hope it's better than the second game, because the second game had so in the No More Heroes games, you have to raise money to improve your lightsaber. I wish I was kidding. You basically have a lightsaber. So you have to go out and kill people or do odd jobs. And doing odd jobs takes a lot of time in No More Heroes 2. So I hope they bring it down a little bit more closer to what you do in the first one. But either way, that one's one I'm looking forward to for the Switch. Brandon, you should also be looking at that one for the Switch.
I'm like missing 2 games worth of story.
Story. Hey, there's very much. Little.
Even if the whole plot is I'm trying to screw this girl, still, there's plot. Which
it was. For those who don't know, that is the plot of No More Heroes. Travis Touchdown meets this hot girl at a bar, and she says that the only way I'll sleep with you is if you become the world's greatest assassin. So he gets a laser sword off the internet and starts killing all of the other assassins in the world so that he can be ranked the best. It's insane, and the boss fights are huge and weird and funny. I loved No More Heroes 1 and 2. No More Heroes 2 actually has, I can't remember his name, it's a big burly rapper dude, and he throws his giant afro-headed hose at you. That's the first thing he does whenever you run in the room. You see these girls, and they're like flying like head over heels at you like giant bowling pins. And his like boom boxes shoot missiles. It's so absurd. I mean, and this is in the ending of the first one. Whenever you get a like weird Deus Ex Machina and it's your brother, that's really the final boss of the game. In the middle of the credits about to start. Such a cool game. Although it seems like there's a good chance I'll have to buy a memory card so I can install it onto my Switch.
Yeah, even if you buy the physical copy.
Yep, the new thing now is to have memory cards for certain Switch titles, and I think after a certain point in time it's going to start being all of them.
Yeah.
I think it'll just end up being the standard.
That's basically what happened with the N64 at the end of its run. It's pretty much all the games required, or to play the complete game at least. Their expansion.
Yep, the little red expansion.
There's a little difference. That was like you need extra like hardware memory, like RAM to play the game.
Right.
That's understandable. This is like you need extra space to install more data, so that because the game can't all fit on the shit that they originally sent it out with. You know, this is the complaint that people had with the Switch when they first started talking about it, and the fact that it wasn't going to have true actual hardware or hard drive space in this damn thing. With the size of games nowadays, it's a little ridiculous to only give us 32 gigabytes.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it? I actually do not. I don't know, because specs are not the sort of thing I look up whenever I'm buying a system. It's not I don't play based on numbers, you know?
Well, while that may be true, it's a necessity that you can't ignore for modern day gaming. Regardless of what Nintendo likes to showcase itself with, it's still going to have modern day games, and that will become a factor.
I will not disagree with you there. I'm just saying that's the reason why I don't keep up with that information on a day-by-day basis. That is all I was trying to say there. I agree with you, because, frankly, Capcom even said, hey, this Resident Evil 7 will run on this. That's why we're not impressed. And they tried to meet it where Resident Evil 7 could run on the system. And then what are they doing? They're giving us Resident Evil Revelations again.
Yeah, the internal space is only 32 gigabytes.
Yep.
That's
tiny.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
It's the reason why I buy my games physical in the first place, and
apparently
the fact that I'm still going to have to buy a damn SD card's kind of lame.
Yeah.
What was that, Brandon?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. And now it doesn't matter. You're going to have to buy extra space anyway. And here's an extra little tidbit. Nintendo has partnered with microSD. One of the let's see, who do they partner with? SanDisk.
SanDisk.
Yep,
Yeah.
SanDisk.
See, yeah. Now they're going to have patent storage cards for your Switch. You can go out and buy, spend money on those. Yeah.
I don't think they can make it too customizable, because it's still only a micro SD card slot.
The way you went through that sentence made you sound like Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah. Anyway, but still, it's just. Yeah. But I just can't help that it's like you see this company that existed in your childhood, and they seem to be your best friend. Like, these were the guys you went to as a kid because you knew that they existed for you. But when you become an adult and you actually see what they're all about, it kind of ruins your childhood a little bit to see that they're really just all about as making as much money in various ways possible.
And let's be honest, that is one of the lamest potential money-making solutions ever, because even if they have a licensed SD card, people are still going to buy the goddamn off-brand stuff.
Well, yeah, because they're cheap. Well, they're relatively
cheap. It's a fraction.
Like a 128 gigabyte card is still, you're still talking $40.
Whoa.
At 256, it's really stupid. They range from like $250 all the way down to like, $100. It really depends on what you buy. There are some higher. They go up to 2 terabytes at the moment, I think. And the Switch does support that, but I can only imagine how much that would cost. That probably at least $300-$400 as an SD card. But I shouldn't have to do that. It should. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess what
like you should have the option.
It feels like they should have thought of this,
but not a requirement.
Well, they did think about it, and they said they didn't care.
Of course they don't.
I think the highest mobile memory is like 128. I don't know.
They just released a 400 gigabyte one, I think.
Well, no. I know what the actual the SD cards go to, but like built-in memory for a phone or a tablet, I think Apple is only up to like 128. So, if you're going to at least meet the industry standard, we should have gotten at least half that, or
exactly,
or at least 128. Give us something, people.
Yeah, because 32 gigabytes is kind of a giant, colossal middle finger sticking right in your face.
You see, when
sticking right up your ass.
Before the console first came out, and people were, harassing them about their hard drive size, I would defend them. It's like, well, you mean you just buy the damn game physically? What's the problem? You just buy it and you ain't gotta worry about it. But now,
here we are 6 months later.
Yeah, you're making me look out like a fucking fool because Nintendo's like, oh yeah, by the way, some of these games are going to start doing what the other consoles do and make you download more. What the fuck? I mean, I guess I shouldn't be surprised. Like I said, modern gaming, I don't know why. I guess I never really knew what the size of this proprietary hardware that they want to use because they're fucking Nintendo. I don't know what the size, what they actually hold, how big they are. But I'd at least expected them to be able to handle whatever games wanted to do. Oh well.
And now for something completely different. So this one's we'll end on something a little bit more positive this time. Atari has so we've still not seen what this mystery upcoming Atari console is that's coming up in some undisclosed amount of time. But that's a home console, and this one though. This is something of a Switch ripoff, but it's entirely designed to play classic Atari 2600 games. It's a handheld system. It has an SD card slot on the back, which means it's going to be hacked about a week after it comes out and used for other things. But you get something that plays Atari games, well, not cartridge ones, but like flash ROMs, basically. Now, clearly the portable console type concept for the Atari's been done, and we've seen different versions of the idea. But I think this is the first one that's specifically an Atari product and is kind of trying to capitalize on other modern trends, because ever since Atari has tried to get some leverage back into the gaming industry, it's been really pathetic. And I think they realized that are best at is, reselling copies of Pac-Man and Adventure or whatever. So, I don't know. I kind of like the model they put together, but I do still prefer the ones that I remember Ben Heck having posted on his website way back in like 2003 or whatever, when I was reading EGM all the time, and his and things like his PSP. He made a PSP before the PSP was even conceived publicly, and his was an actual PS1 portable that had a spinning disc drive and everything. It was pretty damn glorious, if I have to say so.
But how portable can that be? I mean, like, you're going to be... I mean, you can't walk around with this thing.
What, the PlayStation one?
Yeah.
Oh, it was still not very small.
I mean, even then,
it was...
even if you were like, it's like, even not small, it's like, I'm going to take this and go walk around and play. Well, you can't really do that with a spinning disc. You're going to fuck your disc. Quite horribly.
Oh, easily. But that wasn't designed to be a like a production model either. He made it for himself, and it looked like a circular saw on the back of it. It's cool. Although, on that note, he also has made his modern way of doing that sort of thing is he makes laptops. Like he makes Xbox 360, Xbox One laptops. Check it seriously. Ben Heck, Element 14 on YouTube. Check his stuff out. It's really cool. Now, as for the Atari handheld, my only qualm with this is I don't recall what the price was listed on the news article, but it would have to be cheap for me to want to buy it, because I have an Atari. I could probably buy depending on how many games are on it, I could probably buy every game that's on it for less than $50. And I don't really play. That's not the kind of thing I'm going to want to play on the go. That's the kind of thing I'm going to want to play when I got somebody at the house. It's like, hey, you want to throw a game in the Atari and play something on the Atari or the television, something like that? Because those games are best played multiplayer. Even still today.
Xbox One. And we're going to play the motherfucking Atari.
Damn straight. I have all of the most advanced video game systems that it makes sense to own, and I'd still play my fucking Atari. Or something on the 3DO like hell, or what was the name of that terrible damn police game?
But you would never play something on the CDI.
I don't have a CDI. If I did, I would play on a CDI. I mean, it would be hard to play anything on it because it's such a piece of shit, but...
Yeah. But then you can finally... Isn't that the one with those bad Zelda games?
Yes.
Sure is.
But the real
and those are
joy
expensive.
Is to get a hold of a Jaguar and get that to play.
Joy? Well, the thing is, Jaguars themselves work fine. It's the Jaguar CD that's trouble.
That's what I'm talking about. The Jaguar CD.
With its, 15-game library.
You should totally get the Highlander game.
Are you going to help me buy this, Brandon?
I don't know. Are these things expensive?
I don't know. Let's have a look since we're wrapping up anyway. Which is good, because I'm sleepy.
I have another hour's worth of content to talk about.
I don't. Come on, Daddy. I know that we're doing a lot on the internets tonight. Alright, so... I typed in Highlander Jaguar and it brought up Highlander only.
That might be hard to get a hold of then.
I'm trying again. Alright, here we go. I made the mistake of trying to do two things on the computer right now with the stream and the chat going.
Shame on you.
It still doesn't bring up the video game. Let's see. Let me if I can. You're probably able to do this faster than me, Brent. Here we go. Highlander The Last of the Clouds, $45. Buy it now, complete in box.
That's not bad.
That's not. But you'd also have to have a working Jaguar CD, and that's a different, challenging prospect altogether. Because it was such a faulty piece of dog shit.
Yep.
But yeah, the Atari Jaguar CD game collection could actually be bought for relatively cheap. Let's see here. I'm pulling up a list now because we brought it up. And I have a website that actually has archival library lists for every game console in every country. It's really cool. Unfortunately, my computer still hates me right now for doing all the stuff I'm doing on it. Opening PDF. It's one page. Come on. This can't be that damn difficult for you to process.
Sure it can.
You'd think it would be, considering how long it's taking. What? What? What is this?
What's this? What's this?
What is this?
I found it. Okay, here we go. It's more than a dozen. Although there's demos listed on this list too. That's how bad it is.
I hope it's not as Chris's blood.
$25 games for the Jaguar CD. That's it. And actually, one of those is a game that was made in the 2000s for the Jaguar CD. Hell, some of these other ones might actually be that as well, because it really is like one of the smallest game libraries on any console.
Mine is the Action Max.
Yeah.
With its total of 4 games.
All right, well, we are going to wrap this thing up for this week, and we hope you will join us next week on the Z Trigger podcast. And come and join us on our social media channels on Facebook and Twitter at Z Trigger Live. And we will be back next week with another fun and exciting installment. We'll see you later.
Laters.
Seeing you.